Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is um, video number 6 in the Proxy clone video. What we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how I made this wing with the concave. So really simple. We're going to do this. It might be in 2 videos. We'll see. It just depends on how long everything is. So first thing is get our Sharpie out. I'm doing this in Sharpie just so you can see what's happening. So go down. The total that we're going to need for this wing is 12. So forgive me if my head gets in the way here. Make a mark at 12. And at the other end, make a mark at 12. And then also, I should say while we're here, let's come down and going halfway at 6. Back to here. Make our mark at 6. So with this, we just line up. So this is going to be our center where we're going to basically fold the wing. Make our mark across at 6. Get my head in the way. Make our mark at 12. And that's basically our wing. So when I cut these things, I like to use the ruler, put it back up on our 12 mark. There we go. And with a nice sharp blade, just going to drag it straight across. Alright, we're going to keep this ready because we're going to need it to finish this wing out. We'll come through. And this is the one where we cut part way through, but not all the way, right? So we're scoring the paper. Basically, all I'm trying to do with this first little run, and I keep the ruler there, and I'm just scoring down. Alright, so we have this. We've done it right. It should just break free like it did. Easy peasy. And we'll fold this over. Grab a weight just to put it down. Alright, for this, I'm going to shift because we're going to take this down to the edge, so pardon the movement here, but I want to show you how this gets done, how I bevel. It's exactly the same as we did the tail surfaces, just a lot longer of a cut. Obviously, take this to the edge. Going to come down about our 1/4 of an inch mark. Take our blade and we're going to try not to cut through the paper. We just want to, here we go, just want to trim off a good section. Here we go. And I like to use, the ruler because I find it gives me a straighter line. Just my personal, if you feel fine just cutting it freehand, by all means, cut it freehand. Alright, gonna flip this over, do the same to the other side. And yes, I know my chair squeaks a whole lot. keep that blade angled. Just to help with keeping it balanced, making sure we keep a nice, clean, straight cut. A little bit off there on this end, so we'll just trim a little bit more. All right. And that does it for that cut. So move this all back up. Readjust the camera. Don't normally do a lot of adjusting, but for this video I think it's really important that you get to see everything. Sorry about the adjusting here. I know it gets a little bit jiggly. There we go. Alright. Now from here, what we want to do, and I keep the paper on, we're going to bend this gently, real gentle. We don't want to force anything. And keeping the paper on is what gives it the sturdiness. Okay. Because we're going to bend this over, right? Before we do that, again, we've got two surfaces that got to get turned, right? So here's how I curve mine. You could use a longer dowel. I don't have a longer dowel. I use a drumstick for this. So first off, we're gonna, where's that pen? Well, we want to make sure we know what's top and what's bottom. And I seem to have misplaced. There it is over here. So top, bottom. Okay. So the top has to curve this way. The bottom's going to curve the opposite way. So what I do, I come down here and I just start to put in, you can roll this like a rolling pin. And I want to keep the paper on because I want it to move, but I don't want it to crush, right? So I'm just going to roll it like a rolling pin. Do about half. This is basically compressing it so that it starts to move. Then we're going to finish the rest. Come on over, finish the rest. First thing we want to do is compress it, right? We don't want to try to set anything too quickly with this kind of a thing, right? So then I'm going to hold here and lift and roll. Okay, and you see how the paper is creasing. We're going to go to the next area and we're going to do the same thing. We do this in small sections. Okay, unless you've got that bigger dowel. But even then, I suggest doing it in small sections. So now we've got that much so we can continue up a little bit. All I'm doing is putting my fingers down and rolling up. All right, fingers down, roll up. Fingers down under, roll up. We'll continue. And when we get up to the edge here, we're just going to use our fingers to just gently roll it. Okay, roll it all the way up. Come up here and just gentle, gentle. We don't want to deform anything. Put our fingers back under, roll that, and roll that. Okay, so what that starts us in, it starts us in a little bit of a curve, right? So then we can come in and we can gently, gently, using our hands, just kind of form it up. Now this paper inside is holding it pretty tight. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and peel this. Sorry if it rips, I'm just going to go from the other side. It's ripping there too. So that's happens sometimes when you pre-crease it. Get all our paper off. We don't need this weight. And we're going to peel the outside too. And we're learning as we go. So the original wing, well, it didn't have the paper on the inside. Well, it did. I'm sorry, I didn't peel that because that black stuff is just, it's terrible. So now to clean things up, I want to give a nice roll. I'm not pressing too hard, just hard enough. And this is going to smooth things out a little bit. As far as our wrinkles go, but we've got a nice pliable, see how much more pliable it is than this wing to mess with. It's beautiful. Okay, so we don't want to try to force more than just that little bit that we have on this, because when we glue it, that's when we'll put in that really forced angle, and we'll show you how we get to that. So now we're going to turn our attention. I'm going to flip this over. So this is conformed this way. This has to conform the other way. So we're going to just repeat that process that we did before. Roll this up. Loosen that foam up. I know this is very repetitive. It's just the nature of things. We're getting rain today, so it's a bit hot in the studio. Let me take my jacket off real quick. So I'm doing this sitting down. When I did it originally, I stand up. Usually when I do this, I can get some better leverage and everything else. I'm trying to keep my big fat head out of the way for y'all. All right, just like we did before. So we get our dowel down, and we're just gonna roll that. Come on over, roll a little bit. We're only doing about 1.5 inches, 2 inches as we do this to begin with. Then we're gonna roll up another 1.5 inches, 2 inches. All right, we're creasing that paper. You see that, but it's all right. Continue a little bit more. Get this edge here. There we go. Get under it. Crease that up. Crease it. And be patient with this, you know. I've gotten some good compliments and comments on my patience for making models. And my response was, you know, patience is the key here, right? If you want to make a good looking model, you want things to go right, you know, be patient. If you do things with the right amount of patience and time and everything else, your build will go better. It'll go smoother, you know, versus you know, trying to rush something and force things, you know. Don't try to force stuff. Just work it gently, especially in doing stuff like this, right? And we keep the paper on to keep that strength in our model, you know. I'm gonna just roll that a little bit more on the front edge here. All right. So at this point, you can go ahead and peel the bottom on the inside. And again, we just kept it there to keep the strength in it while we were doing all this creasing. Super important to keep the strength in while we're forming stuff, right? Because once we peel it, the foam, it mars easy, it marks up, all that stuff. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and just gently start to push this over. Just little by little. You can take your ruler if you want to. People do this in It's all right. I mean, it works. You just slowly roll it down. And we're gonna just press that over just like this. So it's pretty much flat. That's what we want to do, okay? So we want to go flat. So if you, when you do this and you flip it over, if you find that it doesn't quite match, and mind you, once we arch this, those edges on the back, they're not going to match. They shouldn't match because we're conforming everything, right? So there's a tighter roll on the bottom than there will be on the top, which means we're shortening the top, okay? Because the top has to go further with it. And that's fine. We're gonna trim all that stuff up when we get there. So now, nice and flat, we got our edges going down. So now it becomes, how do we, sorry about the notifications, folks. I get excited to teach you all what's going on, and I forget to turn my notifications on. So, this is where our extra piece of foam board comes in. Yeah, we get 2 notifications per one. So I'm going to stand up for this. So I'm going to reuse what I used on the Blackwing, which is these 2 strips. So these strips are 2 inches wide and the full length. Okay, we're going to make 2 of them. Very important. We're going to make 2 of them. So depending on what you want to do, for me, I want a nice even arch. So since we're 6 inches, I know that I can put this right in the middle, and we're going to get even on both sides. So what I did, I went and took some tape, just ripped off a few inches, like so. I'm going to take my 2-inch pieces, double them up, just like so. And then we're going to tape them down to our surface. Okay? Using our lines on our board. If you don't have the lines on the board, you can just draw them on whatever surface you have, because you're going to want good measurements. Okay? So I've got that. That's not going to move. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take some more tape, grab a few strips, and I want to do 3 of them on this because I don't want things to move. Oh, that sucked. I'll trim that up later. Alright. Now, take my ruler. I'm going to go 2 inches up. And you want to use a thicker ruler. This is, a good 1/8 inch ruler. So, we're just going to tape it. Don't want it to move. So the next area over here, right on that line. And really press your tape down because you don't want this to move at all. And in the middle here where we're going to be touching that edge, we're going to go this way. All right. Now, why is this way? Because, make sure we get our bottom. We're going to take that bottom edge and we're going to line it up on here, just like that. So now you see as we press with everything, we're putting that right in the middle, right? So we're going to fold over, press that edge down, and then when we go to glue this, we're pressing. And that's going to give us our airfoil shape, just like that, okay? If you're worried about things slipping, you don't know, you can trust yourself or whatever, you can always, we'll do it for this one. Actually, I don't want to use this tape. I don't want to use a sticky tape because I don't want to pull the foam. So instead, we'll use some painter's tape. So we'll mark this up. And this is just going to keep it nice and down. and we glue this in stages. Now I haven't heated my glue gun up. I did not think this video through very well, but that's where we're at. So that keeps it down. We fold over and we'll do that, and then of course we'll put our weights down to keep it going as we press down, and that's how we glue this. All right. I need to get my glue gun heated up and ready to go. And I have thought about, when I do this, instead of trying to glue it all in one shot, which means I got to glue down in here and then across here and all the way down and then holding it and everything else. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2-inch cuts, so 2 of them across here, and that way I can pull it up. Okay, and we're going to try this out. This is not how I did the first one, but as I did that first one, I did have some certain problems, and I was very worried about it tweaking and everything else. So we're going to make some cuts, and then we'll get to gluing. So this is going to do it for this video. This is the beginnings of our wing, and in the next video here, I'll have my glue gun up and going, and we will go ahead and start doing the gluing. All right? So that's it for this. Go make it, folks. You can do it. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day, and we will see you in this next video.